Some new information now on a story we have followed closely on Happening Now. Attorneys are making their closing arguments today in the defamation trial against Rolling Stone magazine for its now discredited article about a gang rape at the University of Virginia. UVA Administrator Nicole Aramo is seeking $7.5 million. She was over the magazine's portrayal of her. She was dean of students at the time it was written. Let's take it up with our legal panel today. Lise Wheel, a Fox News legal analyst. Jay Town is an Alabama state prosecutor, former Marine major and judge advocate general. So the judge, Lise, has thrown out part of the claim that former Dean Aramo brought against the magazine. How much does this hurt her case? It
hurts her a bit. It's the defamation by implication claim, which her lawyers kind of threw in there at the last minute, saying pretty much that the article by itself or in total sort of defamed her in total without looking at specific defamatory statements in and of themselves. And the judge said, look, you can't just look at the whole article and say the whole article in toto defamed her. You've got to look at specific elements or specific statements. And in fact, there are 3 statements that are still in play. So the defamation by implication is out. That hurts her a little bit. What hurts her more is that they're looking at her as a public figure for just this instance by itself. So the standard of actual malice is what hurts her more.
Yeah, we've talked about that before, and that's what I don't understand. I mean, yes, she was a dean of students at a large university, but that doesn't necessarily make her a public figure. The judge decided it does.
Yeah, you know, this article was written by Rolling Stone and the author Sabrina Erdely before they even set foot on UVA's campus. And this sort of drive-by journalism should make us all furious. 7 jurors have the opportunity to not only right that wrong, but declare this sort of journalism unlawful and discourage it going forward for all other outlets. It is sort of confounding how this dean, by defending herself from the article, made herself a limited purpose public figure. It just doesn't, it's sort of confounding. She would have, in my eyes, in my read of the law anyway, is that she would have had to have been a limited purpose public figure prior to the article being at least teased before its release. So
and you said the operative word. It was teased, and that was a part of also the part of the article was that, or part of the defamation suit was not just the article itself, but then Rolling Stone teased it, played it out in the media, and she had to defend herself against the teasing of the article as well.
And then there's Jan Wenner, the founder of Rolling Stone, who apparently in a videotaped deposition played in court said, well, I don't stand by my own magazine's decision to retract that article. How do you explain that?
Well, you know, by adding, by declaring the plaintiff a public figure, it adds the element of actual malice. And I think what they're trying to do by saying that it's mostly true, this is the mostly true defense, is to say that, well, we got most of it right, therefore you can assume that we did not disregard the truth recklessly. Therefore, you can't prove actual malice. And in this case, if you can't prove actual malice, then you're not going to be successful on any of the claims for the plaintiff, for Nicole Aramo.
Because this author, Sabrina Erdely, wanted to write a story about how rape takes place on college campuses and colleges turn a blind eye to it. So she finds this one woman, Jackie, with a particularly brutal story, which turns out to be completely bogus.
And she doesn't try and she doesn't interview the alleged perpetrators. In fact, there are no perpetrators out there. And remember, too, this is not a criminal case, so it's not beyond a reasonable doubt standard. It's a preponderance of the evidence standard, so we're not looking for a criminal conviction here. You got to remember that it's a lower standard. So it's a higher standard, actual malice. It's a lower standard, a preponderance of the evidence.
And the dean is portrayed in this article, Dean Aramo. Then Dean Aramo is portrayed as being sort of blithely not caring about what happened.
And we've
spent a lot of time in front of juries, and if I was plaintiff's counsel, I would not only go through all of the facts that weren't true, but all of the things, as Lise was saying, that were not done to justify printing this article, and that would get you to that reckless disregard.
And then you get to damages, her damages as a woman, as a dean, and her damages going forward, psychological damages going forward.
Closing arguments, as we said today. We'll let our viewers know when the verdict comes. Lise Wheel, Jay Town, thank you.
Thanks, John.